Hello, 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 SimCity. Who's gonna build a bigger one? Watch him Ryan up there too. Yeah.
Connie, can you hear me?
Oh,
Joseph,
yeah.
can you hear me?
Oh.
Joseph, can you hear Connie?
Oh.
Connie, can you hear Joseph? People, we have Connie. You're never gonna believe this. There's a place across town that sells this super fancy ice cream called frozen yogurt. They got us out just birthday cake. They put in a blender. Can we go, Dad? Please, please, pretty please. Come on, please, please, please.
Aw, sorry, kids. I've got a lot of planning to do before sundown. But you know, if...
The Rock. This is the most notorious prison in American history. It's a grim concrete fortress planted on solid rock, surrounded by the frigid waters of San Francisco Bay. This place is always cold. And it has a way of breaking the spirit of the most hardened criminal. Even Al Capone said, Alcatraz has got me licked.
Alcatraz is the true pioneer of the supermax prison concept.
Alcatraz opened back in 1934. They had a huge ratio of guards to prisoners.
You had like this tool-proof steel that was touted that nobody could use a regular file to file through.
There were remote-controlled canisters of tear gas that could be opened in the event of a riot or escape attempt. There were also a number of metal detectors around.
They were really boasting the metal detection. They called it, the invisible eye.
The prison's construction is unlike anything that had ever been built before.
The cell structure is like a three-tiered building inside of a building. It's 3 stories high, and the cells all faced outward so the guards could walk the corridors and look inside each cell as needed. Gun galleries up along the ends so guards could shoot into the prison if needed. Once you're outside the main cell building, there are additional fences and 20-foot walls there, thick concrete walls, and guard towers on the corners.
What do you think he does?
6 watchtowers. Each one of them had an armed officer in that tower. This was going to be the facility
I don't get down there.
that there was no escaping,
I don't know how you get
no
down
way
there.
out.
Even if you manage to get out of your cell, scale the walls, and evade the watchtowers, you still face the biggest obstacle of all, San Francisco Bay. Its waters are cold enough to kill you in an hour, and the currents.
Oh shit, my bad. I didn't add you, man. I will, buddy.
An average prisoner would have a functional time of about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then after that they'd just be kind of like bobbing and floating and wouldn't be able to really function, and they would succumb to hypothermia in about under 3 hours.
Here's how criminals start to talk about Alcatraz. If you don't follow society rules, you go to prison. If you don't follow the prison rules, you end up in Alcatraz.
I appreciate you, man.
All the federal prisoners knew if you went to Alcatraz, the other prisoners who were there were the worst of the worst of the federal prison system.
Many of the most famous criminals of their day spent time at Alcatraz. These include the infamous Chicago crime boss Al Capone, other Depression-era gangster figures like Machine Gun Kelly, Bobby Johnson, the Godfather of Harlem, spends time in Alcatraz, as does Whitey Bulger, the Irish-American crime boss turned FBI informant, and of course Robert Stroud, known as the Birdman of Alcatraz, who was transferred to Leavenworth after he killed a guard.
But in 1962, all of these big-name mobsters and murderers will be overshadowed by a gang of 4 small-time crooks. It's not what they did to get in that makes them famous. It's their attempt to get out.
Our team of Alcatraz escapees, we have Alan West,
West was
Warren,
a mostly car
it's gonna be
thief.
sweaty, I'm
He had a
just
lot of
telling you.
larceny and a lot of different escape attempts.
Finally gets out of prison, goes into the military for a short time, gets a dishonorable discharge, back in prison, and believe it or not, ends up in Alcatraz in 1954.
West is the guy who comes up with the escape plan. He gets the idea while working at his prison job.
West was one of the prisoners who was
there.
trusted with the maintenance.
I never knew
so
that.
He would be cleaning, he would paint, he would do different things. There's like a 7-foot gap between the ceiling or roof of the cell structure before you get to the bottom of the actual cell building itself. And there's ventilation through there, there's plumbing pipes, there's wires.
That's pretty much it, actually, for sure. Mainly cheaters. Everybody's just
While he was up on top cleaning the top tier of the cell structure, he noticed one of the vents was not turning. There's little motors in there that pull air through.
Mine's
and he
like
noticed
a
one of them was broken.
0.69, but
He
I
thought
don't
that
know
was
why
the way
they
out
play
of
with
the
me.
cell building.
That's when the wheels start turning. This could be access to the roof. This could be the way out.
West comes up with the idea that, yeah, we can do this. So he knows the other people who have a history of escape. He starts talking to them.
West starts looking for collaborators.
Oh,
guys he
exact
trusts.
room.
And one man he did time
What
with
about
at
the
the
levels
U.S.
one?
Penitentiary in
What's
Atlanta
that one unlocked?
stands out above the rest.
Next on the island, we would have Frank Morris.
Okay.
He's our lone wolf. He's very smart.
People claim Morris had a IQ of 137.
He's got the most escapes out of our 4 guys.
I got you.
He's been incarcerated at 11
I got
different
somebody who can
facilities
do
from a
it
very
black
young age,
anymore.
and Frank Morris was able to successfully escape from all 11 of those facilities.
Morris recruits 2 more members of the team, a pair of escape artists who also served in Atlanta. John Anglin.
Yeah, I know that part. Okay, that's how you activate it. Okay.
And his younger brother, Clarence.
Yeah, but the water level's in the pool now. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
John and Clarence, my uncles, they robbed a bank in 1958, which was the biggest crime they had ever committed.
Yeah, boy.
They used a toy gun to do it because they didn't want anybody to get hurt. When they went in, the president of the bank got real hysterical and he wound up passing out. Well, they stopped what they were doing to get him a glass of water to make sure that he was okay. They did, tie their hands up so they couldn't, call the police or whatever, but they never hurt anybody.
But the Anglin brothers lack in cold-hearted criminality. They make up for in ingenuity and persistence in escape attempts.
They had the reputation inside of the family as being their era of MacGyvers. They could take nothing and make something out of it.
They have tried several different, sometimes ingenious little escape attempts. Leavenworth was the main one. They both were there together. They have a prison camp where they make bread, and then they would ship it to and from the prison, and they'd send the empty boxes back. They're large boxes, so Clarence helped John hide in these big bread boxes. He concealed his brother in there, and one of the guards caught him as they were going out.
After their foiled escape from Leavenworth, the brothers get shipped off to Alcatraz. They're more than happy to team up with West and Morris on another breakout scheme.
I can tell you that John and Clarence both, they were always planning escapes.
Oh, yeah,
I can assure you that they were thinking of ways to get out of there.
Yeah.
The 4 prisoners have
me.
teamed up, and their first task is to get themselves assigned to adjacent cells. Given their escape record, the Anglin brothers are separated when they get to Alcatraz.
But there's a really interesting note in the case file, and the sending warden from Leavenworth makes the statement that the 2 brothers should not be celled next to each other. And they had been known to plot escapes from every other facility they'd been at when they were together.
After months of good behavior, the warden allows the Anglin brothers to move to adjacent cells. West and Morris also get locked up side by side.
It took some time to get these guys nearly all lined up on B Block.
Now that they are all together, they begin formulating a plan to get through the roof vent, down the side of the building, past the fence, and across the icy cold bay. Step 1. Escape your cell. Easier said than done. The inmates know the bars can't be cut with a saw, and stepping out the door puts you directly in firing line of machine gun toting guards.
Hi
What are you
there.
doing? The only possible way out is somewhere
Whoever's
else.
alive, run.
Hello.
Below the sink, at the back of each cell, is a small 6 by 9 inch grated vent. And if you could actually remove that grate, what it provided access to was a maintenance corridor that ran the length of the cell block.
The concrete around those vents was deteriorating,
No way.
so they figured if they could make a big enough hole,
Ha-ha.
they could get out of the back of the cell.
The digging begins in September of 1961.
They stole spoons out of the cafeteria and broke the tips off of them and used them like picks to pick away the concrete around the vents.
And slowly, methodically, over the course of 6 months, the foreman began to enlarge the opening at the back of their cell.
Morris exploited his job in the repair shop to steal a vacuum motor and build a makeshift drill. They hoped it would help them break through the vent faster.
West and Morris both supposedly read a book about engineering. They said if you use a hot plate, keep the concrete up, like in the back of the cells as they're chipping away with it. They said it would help make the concrete fall apart more easily. And I think they did experiment for a time with that.
They couldn't all four work at the same time. They were paired in twos. The Anglins were next to each other. One would keep watch as the other did the digging, and then they trade off. Same with Frank and Alan.
And then finally, they could actually pass through it.
Clarence England is the first to break through the back wall. Freedom is so close he can taste it. He reaches a roof vent, but discovers that it's bolted shut. After months of patiently chipping
Mac, you
away at
still
their
here,
cell
buddy?
walls, their dreams of escape could be over.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance.
Hey, you got Discord, Mac? You got Discord, Mac?
You fixed it. You nailed it.
Yeah, I'll definitely add you, brother.
Which is really nice. The food with the family, with the parties, the parties.
I like to party here.
How's it going?
You have Discord. Oh, okay. Because I don't do the game chat stuff, that's all.
The younger you are, the more you need AARP.
Alright,
and
no
malted
worries.
milk balls and
We'll figure
crackers
it
and
out.
popcorn and sesame sticks and veggie chips and energy squares and fudge and jelly beans and seeds and rock candy and saltwater taffy and dried berries and fruit leather and bars and jerky and a whole lot more. .com was already taken. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first order at nuts.com. Yes, we have more than nuts, but still the website is just nuts.com.
Yeah, that'll be fine. We can use game chat.
Where's
If I
our
figure out
car?
how to change it.
Hi there.
I just said, I wish I
Up on
can,
the
but
roof.
I don't.
That guy's down.
Sorry, guys.
I can't.
Sorry. Hey, it's okay.
I can't see you sad.
I'm not sad. I'm okay. I
Can you just move over? I love you, but I can't.
You know, before all of this, Eddie and I had a little bit of drama.
Unfortunately.
Had to pull this into the bridge, and she was like, "You girls have to set it up,
Okay,
otherwise
we'll figure it all out. No worries, brother.
All right, let's make it happen.
Are you okay? If you're worried about Glenn, you have my word, he will not be around at all.
I trust you. It's just something weird sleeping here.
Hey, what's the first question I would want to answer? I think the question is, did you operate alone? Really? Did you engage in some conspiracy? Did somebody send you down here? That would be the biggest deal. Because if that's not the case, we have the only person involved. Former President Trump can go back to his activities and know there's not a lone wolf out there that got away from law enforcement.
Sheriff, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with all of us. Thank you, Sheriff Snyder.
Sure, it's been a pleasure. Good night.
All right, you too, sir.
No!
And next, the blame game that's going on. Of course, Trump has been pointing the finger at Biden and Harris for the attempted shooting. The White House slamming Elon Musk for questioning why no one is trying to assassinate Harris. Question Musk says was made a jest. Plus, breaking news, highway patrol officers in Ohio are now stationed across Springfield School District as there are reports of more bomb threats following Trump's attacks on migration in the town. My guest is the president of Wittenberg University, which is dealing with multiple threats that have forced the school to now go fully remote. And Don Lemon. Don is out front live. Don't miss it.
He is the smartest son of a who's ever done this for a living.
Howdy. Whoever did that, let's go.
Winning races. Change believes that change wins. It's the economy, stupid. I ain't apologizing to no one.
The man is a two-fisted catcher.
I am saying publicly what people are saying themselves. I have enough money. I could just shut up.
Carmen, winning is everything, stupid. Saturday,
Up the steps, guys.
This dryness or flakes down here.
Oh, fuck. I'll catch you later, man. Appreciate you, brother. I got you, Mac. I'll send you a request right now, brother. Appreciate that.
Open your eyes. You deserve better from your phone service. At Total Wireless, we're fixing that.
ומקווה שגדעון שהוא אדם הגון בעיניי לא יפר כל מילה שהוא אי פעם נתן לציבור הישראלי ולא ייתן לשיקול הפוליטי.
Let's take a